How's everybody doing? Yes, but I got a good little story. So make sure that all the kids, okay. All right, let me ask you a question. Can somebody tell me what I got behind my back? A crown. Now, who would wear a crown? A king? Or maybe Miss Adrian would wear a crown? Do we have a Miss Adrian in the house? Did y'all know that Miss Morgan won Miss Adrian? Go ahead and stand up. Let's give you a round of applause. We got royalty in the house. But yeah, this is a crown for... Now let me ask you a question. Who would like, if somebody came to you and said, for one day, I'm going to make you king or queen of the whole world. Who would like that? Who would like to be the king for a day or queen for a day? You'd be king over your parents. Yeah, now y'all getting excited. King for a day. Let me ask you a question. If I was going to make, who would like to raise your hand if today I wanted to make somebody king for a day? Raise your hand. All right, anybody? Okay, king for a day. All right, or queen for a day. Anybody? Queen, king? All right. Raise your hands again because I'm going to have to pick somebody. Raise your hand if you want to be king for a day. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me give y'all, there's one stipulation though. One stipulation. Before we do that, there's one thing. And then I will give the crown to whoever wants to do it. I'm going to have to give you 3 licks with a belt. When I'm talking about licks, I mean I'm going to have to like really hit you on your backside real hard.
Daddy, put your hand in. You can't even take Daddy's hand.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it would be worth being king for a day if I made you take your shirt off and I gave you 40 of these across your back?
Wow.
Not 3, but 40. As hard as I could. But now what I'm going to do also, I'm not just going to use this. Mr. Tommy's got a little special mixture back there, and it's a lot of like bone and metal and glass with glue, and I'm going to rub this in it so when I hit you with it, there'll be chunks of metal and glass that'll dig into your skin. But now you can be king for a day, but that's what's going to happen at the end. That doesn't sound like a good deal, does it? Today is Passion Palm Sunday. You see where y'all brought these in, these palm branches and leaves? Jesus came into town and everybody was excited and they were cheering him. Hosanna in the highest. Jesus had come to save them. He was king. They loved him. They were excited. King of the Jews is here. But then a few days later, they beat him and they crucified him. Today's message really isn't a little message as far as I do sometimes with my illustrations. Today is just a lesson for y'all to remember what Jesus went through. Jesus came this week, today, he entered into Jerusalem, and they were crowning him King of the Jews. They were excited. We're going to find out in our lesson today what exactly happened, because just a few days later, they were beating him to where he couldn't even be recognized. And they spit on him, they kicked him, and they put thorns. They took this, except it was made of thorns, and they dug it into his head. That's what he went through. He got to be king for just a day, and then they crucified him. And you know why he did all this? Because he loves y'all. Isn't that a wonderful thing to know that somebody would be willing to go through all of that just because he loves somebody that wouldn't be born until a couple of thousand years later? Jesus went through all of that for each one of y'all. He endured this. He only got to do this for one day. He endured this. But then he got this back for eternity. That's what he endured for us. But make no mistake, he is now king and forever will be king. Do not forget that. Make sure y'all remember that. Jesus is the king. He went through a lot so that he could be the king. That's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Praise the Lord. Who would like to dismiss us with prayer this morning? All right, if y'all will bow your heads, close your eyes as Miss Morgan, Miss Adrian is going to dismiss us with prayer.
Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for all you've done for us and just that the thought that you've done all that for us just because you love us, Lord. And thank you for everything you give us. And in your name we do pray. Amen.